and that went the way of the pre-race favourites from Team France. So the French team adding to the previous medals from the last 2 days of competition, where in the individual juniors we saw the titles going to Jean-Nuno Batista and Fanny Zalai. There's the French team just coming out for the seniors, looking to add another medal. In the senior ranks, we had Sandra Daudet from France and Nicola Azzano from Italy. And under 23 championships going to Susanna Mikhalichova and Juan Denigro from Slovakia and Italy, respectively. So we see our teams being introduced there. Interestingly, for Portugal, I was looking at their team lineup. It's Rodrigo Pissarro, Maria Tomei, Jean Nuno Batista, and Mariana Vargem. And interestingly, the Portuguese team, they didn't enter a squad in the junior ranks this morning. Now we can see the logic behind that, because they have taken their top two men, Rodrigo Pissarro and Jean Nuno Batista, who were exceptional in the swim bike stage, and obviously Batista went on to take the gold in the juniors, but they will be joining and effectively racing up in the seniors with Maria Tomei, the Paris Olympian, who's not resting on her laurels after an 11th place finish in the French capital, and took 5th with the Portuguese squad in the mixed team relay there, joining alongside Mariana Vargem, who was 6th in the individual, 2nd in the under-23 race yesterday. So they are definitely going to be a team to look out for. Here's Team Poland, who were perhaps the surprise bronze medalist this morning. In the junior ranks, France taking gold, silver going to Italy, but Poland winning a sprint finish on the blue carpet to come home with the bronze. Here is the team from the Ukraine: Vitaly Vorontsov, Darina Moskalenko, Alexei Kulish, and Marina Krik. Should be seeing Team Ireland the next to step through the intro area. Here we are in the green colours. James Edgar on the right. He should be their lead-off man. He had an exceptional race in the individual, took 4th place. And then he'll be passing on to Erin McConnell, Russell White, and Saoirse O'Brien. Wearing number 17, it's our host nation from Turkey, here for the 2nd consecutive year for this sprint and relay championship event at Balıkesir, in another popular host, and a really interesting swim course, which you'll see for the first time if you've not been with us for our previous events. But oh dear, it looks like Slovakia having a little bit of fun as they yeah, definitely winning the competition for best intro so far there. Philip Lizak, Susanna Mikhalichova, who's had a great championship so far, 3rd overall in the individual race, but also as part of that taking the under-23 gold medal. She'll be handing off to Peter Rochas and Emma Beke. Just saw Romania following Slovakia, and here is the team from Finland: Vaika Saaren, Kaisa Karanen, Max Valta, and Helena Napi. And that brings us through to what should be the final team to be introduced. Team number 21 from Bulgaria: Alexander Botsalov, Anastasia Pacheva, Boris Andreev, and Miluba Narikova. So our lead athletes will be onto the pontoon. We are just moments away from the start of this grand finale, the mixed team relay event, European Championships on the line for our senior athletes. 20 athletes on the start. They're lined up. The technical officials' flags are flying. So the race will be underway in the next few seconds. Nerves jangling, but they are away for the final time this weekend into that crystal blue water. So this mixed team relay format, 4 athletes racing for each nation in male, female order. Each athlete completing a short super sprint triathlon before tagging on to the next athlete. And then, of course, the first athlete across the line. So athlete number 4 will determine the direction of the medals. The course here in Balıkesir, kicking off with this pretty almost directly straight 270-meter swim to start. So they basically all but the last 15 meters when they do a left-hand turn around the boys to take them into transition, direct straight line. So that reduces any chances really, or certainly would significantly reduces the chances of physical contact around boys, etc. They'll then go out onto a 5.2 kilometer bike course. So if you were watching the individual races yesterday, many of the same roads, however, there is an extension to the loop. So rather than yesterday, we were doing just over 7K across a 3-loop course. Today, it's 1 loop of 5.2 kilometers. And then we will finish off with almost identical run to yesterday, with the exception of the first 3 athletes have an additional 200 meters, which they need to complete. So that will take them back down to the swim to start for the handover area. So which way is this going to go? Well, I was looking down at the list of teams, the list of athletes, and I reckon that this race is pretty open. Ahead of the junior race this morning, you'd have to put very, very short odds on the French taking the title, which they did. Such was the strength in depth across all 4 athletes. But looking down here, the likes of Germany, of Great Britain, of Italy, of Hungary, of France, of Portugal, just to name 6, and I could probably extend that. I think all of those athletes and all of those teams will be starting today thinking if they have the perfect race, the great day, they're all in with a chance of a podium. And once you're in with a podium chance, could be a chance of taking the victory. So I'm expecting some close racing, which is really the signature of this mixed team relay format. It looks like we've got Spain leading out on leg 1. That should be Eduardo Blanco Mola. I think I saw the tri-suit of Hungary, Gergely Kiss, and the Hungarians all never too far away when the swim is concerned. Great Britain have got Marcus Day on leg 1. He's perennially a very strong swimmer. You can see Valentin Morlek coming through there. And there's really not much at all. Maybe only 10 seconds or so between the vast majority of that field coming out of the water. The Azzurri, the blue of Italy, was also in there. You can just see him coming up to the bike on the right-hand side. That's Juan De Nigro. Juan had a brilliant race yesterday in the individual, 2nd overall, behind his compatriot Nicola Azzano, who will be on leg 3 today, and in the process earning himself both the silver medal in the elite senior category, but also the gold for the under 23s as well. Just turns 20 this year, so it's his first year out of the junior ranks. He's proven himself as a junior, and he has been making it a fantastic start to his senior career. So very early stages of the bike, and we have a significant group there. That looks like we're going to have probably at least 10 of the teams very, very closely matched. And let's hope that that continues. That is something that we have consistently seen. It's one of the great things that I and everybody loves about the mixed team relay format. You can look on paper, think that you know which way it's going to go, but invariably something happens. Small moments, bad decisions, bad luck, a crash. It could be anything at all. And such is these fine margins here can make such a difference. So Gurgly Kiss there in second place from Team Hungary. And I think that was the Austrian strip that just came through. Thomas Winterschauber. He had a strong performance in the individual race, 11th place finish yesterday. So as you can see, the roads here very flat, very fast. We've got great conditions. Temperatures have been hovering in the low 30s centigrade. Water temperature obviously very warm as well, hence no wetsuits, not even remotely required here. Well above the maximum allowable temperatures for wetsuits. You can also see Bulgaria there, Alexander Bosilov. He was one of the athletes that is coming in fresh. We were expecting him to race yesterday, but I don't think he actually started in the individual race. He has been performing really well this year. He's actually a junior athlete and has been performing consistently, getting lots of podiums through the Europe Triathlon Junior Cup Series. And this super sprint format, these short distance races, they certainly do level the playing field a little bit when we do get those junior athletes who have been, of course, very used to racing over sprint and super sprint formats coming up through their development and moving up into the under 23 and senior ranks. They haven't potentially had the time to build the full endurance base, so it can be a little bit difficult, that jump up to the Olympic distance against the seasoned seniors. But you put them against the seniors over this format, which is very consistent with what they've been racing, and they are highly, highly competitive. And you can see there, well, that looks like pretty much the entire field there. I'm not going to try and count them, but that must be at least 16, 17. So I don't think there's going to be too many nations have missed the break there. And with such a short section on the bike and these high speeds, nothing really in terms of technicality, hills. It's just flat, fast, sweeping bends. It is going to be very, very difficult to get away. So that does put the pressure on the very few technical aspects at the far end of the course there. That was the only real U-turn on the course. So this is just the section that they didn't do yesterday, which is extended the loop for today's mixed relay course. It's James Edgar in the green in fourth place. We're just coming back to those little areas that can sometimes impact. We did see that today, and it was the dismount line at for the third athlete in the juniors, Team Luxembourg. They were really having a magnificent race right up there in a little break with Team France. Looked like the two athletes were going to come in together alongside France's Achille Besson. But then the Luxembourg athlete just lost a key bit of time. Looked like as he dismounted the bike, his managed to knock, or his shoe hit the floor on the pedal. The shoe came off of the pedal, so he had to stop, go back and get that. And now that just 10, 12 seconds just really put Team Luxembourg on the back foot. It was so key, leaving France to hand over to Manon Laporte, the silver medalist from the individual race, and take the gold in style. So as we go through the racing, keep your eyes out for all of these small things. A few seconds here or there can always make such a difference. But we are on the return leg here, back towards the transition area. 10 minutes already into the racing action. And so the opportunity for a break on leg one, if it's going to come, I suspect it could well be coming on the run. Be very, very late for somebody to try actually a breakaway, but of course trying to position yourself, get in the right spot for that sometimes difficult dismount into T2, particularly when you're in a large group at high speed like this. You don't typically want to be at the back of the field. Somebody falls in front of you, or you get delayed. Somebody has a bad transition. Can have that knock-on effect. And those seconds can be so crucial. But we are going to be heading into transition now. So this is the 2024 European Triathlon Senior Mixed Team Relay Championship. We're on leg one. We're racing as we will continue to do until the end of 2024 in male, female, male, female format. And we're on leg one. This is our athletes coming into T2, and it looked like Team Hungary, Gurgly Kiss, had just managed to get towards the front to try and come off the bike in first position. Look at those athletes coming in, and it is Kiss. It's Poland again performing exceptionally well. Brudziak, Denigro there, Friedlance. Now Friedlance has come here from the Olympic Games. He actually raced in the mixed team relay in Paris. He was a very late substitute. Unfortunately, there was illness for Adrian Brifod, and so no post-Olympics come down for Sylvain Friedlance. He's had the call from Team Switzerland, and he's wearing those colours with pride once again. So it looks like almost the entire field there. So Austria just missing out there. So that was Winschbauer. So apologies. I think I mentioned Austria earlier, which clearly a mistake. That should have been Poland. So apologies to Maciej Brudziak. He was the guy in the red tri-suit that was up towards the front. As they go around that bend, there is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10, if not 11 runners together in the early stages of the run. So we're looking down from this drone coverage. So where they are on the course now, they're running out to the far end of the course. They'll then do pretty much a U-turn back on themselves, at which point over to the left of the screen you will be seeing the bright blue of the swim course. Just see it appearing in the distance, and then as they run back down, first time around here they will run to the side of the blue finish archway to take them out onto the second lap, and then as they come round again in the individual, they've returned onto the blue carpet for the first 3 legs. They're actually going to continue on for a few more meters, and then they will loop back down to the swim start for the handover, and then only on the final leg will the lead athlete come onto the blue carpet and under the blue finish archway. So we can see the lead outrider on the left. The athletes are going to flow through. It looks like the blue of Juan De Nigro, the young Italian, turns 20 this year. Had great success on the Europe Triathlon Junior Cup circuit, winning his home race in Caorle 3 years back to back. And as we said, has already made that move up to the senior ranks with style. European under-23 champion yesterday, taking the silver in the individual. And he also had a silver medal, second place to none other than the Olympic champion Alex Yee in Kitzbühel about 4 to 6 weeks ago, when Alex raced in a Europe Triathlon Cup event over in Switzerland as part of his preparations for Paris 2024. So Juan De Nigro is a fine athlete now, but I think he's going to be one of the names to look out for over the coming years. He's showing all the skills, all the talent, and improving year on year. And at just 20 years of age, you have to think his best years are still ahead of him. On his shoulder, it did look like we had Sylvain Friedlands from Switzerland. So the Swiss team were 7th place in Paris, which was, it feels like a long time ago, but it was just this Monday, wasn't it? Past Monday, so 6 days ago. That incredible mixed team relay event in the French capital that concluded with one of the most amazing finishes that we've ever seen, I think, in any form of triathlon, with Lara Lindemann, Taylor Knibb and Beth Potter going full gas on the Pont Alexandre Trois to determine the direction of those medals. Team Germany taking the title there. Will they be inspired today to do similar? I'm seeing a white tri-suit at the front. That could well be Germany. Jan Diener is the German athlete on leg one. He had an excellent performance in the individual race, 7th overall, and also got on the podium in the under-23 race in the process, where he took 3rd place. But there is really not much between them. So this is the point where I was saying that just these first 3 legs, they have a little extra run because they have to do a right-hand turn here. So this is the extra 200 meters or so, which takes those first 3-leg athletes down to the swim start and the handover point. So just seeing an athlete sprint to the front there. Is that the red colours? So this is the point where you just go, whatever you've got left, this is when you have to get rid of it. And wow, we do have an all-out sprint here. It could be the Azzurri, and I'm like you, looking from these drone shots. It's a long way out, but that could be the blue of Italy. No, it could well be France, actually. So there is really not much between anybody here. So this is Valentin Morlek. He's just going to hand over to Elona Hadoum with a very small advantage. De Nigro's there, Hamish Riley, Friedlands, Brudziak, Edgar from Ireland. The Belgians are there. The Belgian Hammers, who their elite team so unfortunately were unable to start in Paris due to the illness of Claire Michel. But that Belgian Hammers project has really put the focus in Belgium on this mixed team relay. And it's a legacy that they want to continue. Many of the athletes here will be looking in due course to try and emulate the likes of Claire Michel, Julien Vermeulen, Jelle Geens, Martin van Riel, and others that have gone before them. And now into the crystal blue waters here. So who have we got on leg number 2? Elona Hadoum. from France last year. Had a magnificent season, was the European and world champion in the junior ranks. For Italy on leg 2, we've got Sharon Spimi, 7th place yesterday, so she's in great form. For Great Britain, we saw Marcus Day. He is handing over to Bethany Cook, who was 11th yesterday. A multiple medalist in the under-23 championship. I think she's got medals the last 2 years in this championship, 2022-2023. Based now in the US on a scholarship at an American college. So there really is some class athletes in there. We should be seeing Sofia Kovac for Hungary. Didn't see the Portuguese handover, but I'm sure they must have been up there towards the front, in which case it would be another Olympian that we have racing, Maria Tomei. Maria was 11th in the individual race in Tokyo. Sorry, in Paris 10 days or so ago, and was part of the team that took 5th place in the mixed team relay at the Olympic Games as well. But up at the front, just looking there must be, what, 1, 2, about 7 teams, it looks like, in very, very close order. In fact, it may be more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That could be up to 9 teams, I think. So we did say at the start, and it was just my opinion, but that's what I'm here to try and do. When I looked on, at least on paper, I thought this race is a very, very open one. There's lots of teams that have some great athletes across the board. I didn't see one absolute standout odds-on favourite, and from a viewer perspective, that is fantastic. That means that we really cannot guess exactly what is going to happen to the end, and that's why these mixed team relays, they manage to go by almost before you know it. You've started and then you just get engrossed in the action. So a little slip there just as that first athlete came out. Hopefully we'll just get a shot of them as they come in. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think that is nine teams, if my eyes are not deceiving me, and they are separated by, well, probably 4 seconds. So Sandra Daudet from France in there. So if that is the case, so apparently I've been assuming, per the data I had, that it was going to be Ilona Hadoum on the first leg, but it looks like they've swapped around. We've got Sandra Daudet, our champion from yesterday. Certainly seemed to be the athlete right up at the front in the French kit. So we'll see if they have just done a change of order or whether there has been a change of personnel as we get onto the last leg. I'm pretty sure that that was Sandra Daudet, not Ilona Hadoum.
Balıkesir sadece güreşte değil, işte bu şampiyona sayesinde triatlon sporunu da dünyaya duyurdu ki geçen sene ilkini gerçekleştirdiğimiz şampiyonamızın ardından bir senenin ardından yine bu
just the smallest of breaks there. We've got a group of 4, group of 3. I'm pretty sure that that 3 will manage to bridge up, but there was a little bit of a bigger gap back to positions 8 and 9. Only really 3 or 4 seconds, but at this sort of pace, it's these moments that can be so crucial. If you just miss that break, then it can be racing against the power of an organized group. It can be so difficult. And there we go. That even just visually, that gap does appear to have grown between what looks like it's now going to be a group of 4 formed at the front. So we have Team Germany, Team Belgium, we have Italy, Hungary,
Evet, en büyük emeği verenlerden. Ellerinize sağlık. Çok teşekkür
So for
ediyoruz.
Germany on the front, that was due to be Julia Brocker. She was a top 10 finisher in the individual and also took the bronze in the under-23 race in the process. So off the back of some great racing yesterday. For Belgium, it should be Hassa Flirakers. Set up well on leg one by Arnaud Mengol. So Hassa was a little bit further back, actually. Overall position was 41, so that meant she was 11th in the B final, but inspired by the Belgian kit in the mixed relay, doing a great job so far.
Koşu parkuru da toplamda 1800 metre, 900 metreyi 2 tur koşarak finish noktasına varmaktalar. Evet, 20 takımla start aldık. Toplamda 80 sporcuyu göreceğiz parkurda. En heyecanlı anları da artık.
So the German team, of course, world champions, Olympic champions. Team Germany just seemed to have the mixed team relay format, along with the French, and maybe the Germans have sort of taken over the mantle a little bit the last couple of years. Do seem to have this ability to sometimes produce a team format and performance that is greater, at least on paper, than the sum of their parts. They get it right. And it's Julia Brocker there at the moment, setting the pace on the front. She just moves over, I think, trying to encourage through. So Germany, Belgium, Italy. I think that's on looking on the back of the field. I'm pretty sure. Actually, maybe third from the back. I think that is Sandra Dode. So I'd just like to just get a clearer picture of that, just to make sure that I am not, my eyes are not deceiving me, but I'm pretty sure that I think it is Sandra Dode on leg 2 for the French and not Ilona Hadoum. But as they come round this far end of the course, so this is the turning point, pretty much a U-turn. So if we just look across the road, what is the gap? So yeah, that gap, we can see the two chasers. So that was key as they came onto the bike. Just that few seconds means that those two teams have been metaphorically spat out the back. See Beth Cook for Great Britain. She was in there as well. So that we know we've got Germany, we know we've got Great Britain, we know we've got Italy, we know we've got France in here. We've got Belgium. So they'll now be starting to think about what is coming up. Starting to prepare, thinking about the transition, thinking about the entry on the bike and positioning on the group to get the best transition. Now we saw Sandra Dode. She did run to a victory yesterday, and maybe she's just trying to use her experience to do similar again. We haven't seen her towards the front on the bike here. She's been more than happy to be following the pace setting, which I have to say has been primarily done by Team Germany. Julia Brocker has been the powerhouse on leg 2 on the bike, but Dode very confident in her running ability, and why wouldn't you be, having won the individual race on the run yesterday? So just perhaps using that experience, she's been around the triathlon block for many years now. Won, I think, 4 World Triathlon Cup events in her career. She's been at many championships. She's been part of Team France mixed team relays on many occasions before. So she's well aware of the intricacies. Do we have a little bit of a split late on? It is very late, and the gap that they get at this point, whatever it is, if they do get one at all, is not going to be significant. But we've just got the smallest of splits there. We've got effectively 7 teams at the front, but just 3 just breaking away very slightly just in the final 300 or 400 meters as we come into transition. So if you're just joining us, this is the European Triathlon Championships, mixed team relay triathlon senior category. This is our final race of the weekend here in the Balıkesir in Turkey, here for this championship event for the 2nd consecutive season. We've got 7 teams in contention, but 3 have just taken the opportunity to just break away in the final stages of leg 2. So they come to the dismount line. Oh, and actually it's Libby Coleman. Apologies, I said Beth Cook, so we have had another team change. Looks like Libby Coleman is actually on the British squad. We also had Switzerland were one of the other teams in the mix there. So 7 teams in transition. We'll get a closer look at how that's going to play out in terms of order over the opening meters of the run, but those 7 teams that currently heading the way: Team Germany, Team Great Britain, Team Belgium, Team Switzerland, Team Italy, Team Hungary, and Team France. So have we seen the Portuguese? Did I miss them? I'll be certainly expecting Portugal to be up there, so it could well be that they have gone past, or I've missed them. They could well be part of that group, so if I have missed them, apologies, but I'm sure we will pick that up over the next few moments. So as these chasers rack their bikes at the end of leg 2, get out onto the run, we'll be looking to see how things are panning out over this 2-lap run course here at our venue of Balıkesir Avlu. We are in the Marmara region of Turkey. The city of Balıkesir has a population just over 300,000. And oh, there is Portugal. Now, I wonder what has gone on there, because we saw yesterday their first leg athlete, Rodrigo Pissarro, had a really excellent race in the junior category, was right up at the front for the swim and bike, but was not expecting Portugal to be back that far at this stage. But from our loose group of 7 that came into transition together, we do have something of a split going on the early part of the run.
Evet, ikinci tur tüm hızıyla devam ediyor. Kadın atletlerimiz parkurda. Evet.
It looks like our first loose group of athletes just going past the start-finish area under the not under the blue archway, but next to the blue archway to begin that lap. Sandra Dode didn't appear to have had the best transition, but she has used her run speed to move up towards the front, it looked like, with Team Germany. Here come some of the chasers. They're just now going past that the blue carpet area. So they are, yeah, quite a way down, and at the moment at least going to be very, very tough for any teams not in that leading 7 to get themselves back into medal contention. Just seen that Barbara de Koning from the Netherlands there. Barbara, very, very young, but very, very experienced. She's been racing for many, many years, and she's been a key part of that Team Netherlands squad. And she raced for the Netherlands in the final Olympic qualification race down in Hutalco. It's the final opportunity for the Netherlands to secure their spot in the Olympic Games mixed team relay. And alongside Mitch Kolkman, Rachel Klammer and Richard Murray, they were able to secure that position. So it wasn't Barbara that personally had the slot in Paris, but she was a key part in enabling her compatriots to get that start in the French capital. I'm sure we will be seeing much more from Barbara de Koning and her younger sister Sonia de Koning over the coming years. So into the very late stages of the run now, so it's starting to turn the attentions towards that swim handover. We've just got a little bit of running left. Our leader's just going up to the far end of the run course. So at this point, only about 400 meters left. They'll effectively run 200 meters approximately alongside the swim course before making that U-turn back down to the swim start area, the handover point. This will be athlete number 2 handing over to athlete number 3. So the first female in the team handing over to the second male athlete in this male-female, male-female ordered triathlon mixed team relay here in Balıkesir. So there we go. We're getting our leaders on the very final sprint. At this point, they are absolutely sprinting down to that handover area. It did look like Sandra Dode had moved to the front of the race, and here she is. She should be handing over to Jules Rethero, and indeed she does. So it is France, and then we have Germany and Italy locked together. The Italians have the individual champion, Nicola Azzano, on their squad. So they will certainly not believe that they are out of contention. Already got a silver medal this morning. That looks like the Swiss as well, going in 4th. So it's breaking up a little, but certainly, from my perspective at least, certainly not decisive at this, I was going to say early stage, but we're right at the midpoint now, aren't we, of this European Triathlon Championship, mixed team relay triathlon here in Balıkesir, Turkey, 2024. At the beginning of the swim on leg 3. In the water for France, Jules Rethero, and chasing for Germany and Italy are Eric Diener and European Super Sprint champion Nicola Azzano, respectively. So Switzerland, I believe they have Maxime Fleury on leg 3. So look out for Maxime because he's in good form as well. Talk about Nicola Azano being the champion yesterday, but in 3rd place, that was Maxime Fleury from Switzerland. So he will be definitely wanting to try and just bridge up those few seconds and be part of that chasing group. And that could be quite a difficult situation for Jules Rethero if he is isolated at the front of the race. And then there is a small but talented chasing group of 3 or 4 athletes. Then that can be pretty difficult. When we saw maybe a couple of times through that mixed team relay last Monday at the Olympic Games, that the Brits led going into that final leg, but Beth Potter was isolated, had a great position in terms of a lead at the front by 10 seconds or so at one point. But then when you had the chasing duo or trio, particularly when one of those is the talent on the bike of the likes of Taylor Knibb, maybe left the person in front isolated who's got nobody else to work with or take shelter from on the bike. So this race absolutely not over. Coming out of the water, that's Jules Rethero just leading the way for France. Got a gap of, I'm going to guess, put a watch on it, but maybe 7, 8, 9 seconds, something like that. But we do have a quartet of teams that are now close. We've got Germany, we've got Italy, we've got Switzerland, and just looking down at the tri-suit, I think that's also going to be Great Britain. I think that will be Hamish Riley. Again, he's another athlete that had a great individual race. 6th place overall, so right up in the mix, taking the silver medal in the process in the under-23 event. He's a class act as well, bronze medalist 2022 at the World Championships. Was part of the mixed team relay gold medal winning team here last year as well. So has the experience, winner this year as well. So all of the signs for Hamish Riley. He's in a positive state of mind. He won over in Ireland in Cork. And just look there, we talked about small margins. Well, is that Rethero at the front? Has his transition not gone well, or are we just looking at that chasing quartet? I think that might be the 4 athletes. But if we can get... In fact, no, it has all come together. I thought that was the case. So Jules Rethero, was handed over in a great position from Sandra Daudet, came out of the swim with that lead, but that has been, it appears anyway, looks to be closed up. Yes, it is. There's 5 athletes there, so that's not necessarily a bad move for the French. As I said, being out there on your own, sort of dangling in front, can be pretty difficult. But we now have some real class in here. We've got Riley, we've got Azano, we've got Rethero, we've got Fleury from Switzerland, and Eric Diener should be the scheduled athlete on leg 3 for the Germans. So while we still have 1.5 legs of the 4 here to go, I think this 5 is where the medals are going to come from. an exceptionally strong group of athletes here that have performed really well. We know that they're in form. We have Azano, was the first place finisher yesterday. Fleury was in third place. We've got Hamish Riley, he was sixth, taking a silver in the under 23 as well. Rather, he was a little bit further back in 17th, but overall they've got a good gap from the rest of the field. 5 athletes, 5 nations working together, and they do appear to be working together.
Öyle performans gösterdik sporcularımız. Artık son damlasında, kanlarının son damlasındalar gerçekten. O yüzden her şeylerini önlerine koyacaklarını bizler biliyoruz. Gelin hep birlikte şahit olalım.
In fact, I think I am going to have to correct myself there. I'm looking down. I thought that Maxime Fleury from Switzerland was in there. So apologies if you are screaming at the screen. I think you are correct. I think that is Team Hungary. Now, and that is not the Swiss. Now that is Team Hungary. Now they had a really interesting lineup. If they have followed what was listed on there, because they had 2 absolutely top tier athletes that were not part of the individual races. They have brought in Uber swimmer Mark Devey on leg 3. And they're also scheduled to have Jeanette Couto-Bragmeier on the final leg as well. So Devey, that would be quite key for how the Hungarians have managed to close the gap up on that first leg, because Devey is, well, quite probably the best swimmer in world triathlon racing at the moment. He's right up there at the front of pretty much every swim, alongside the likes of Vincent Louis from France. So that 5, just to confirm, and just to make sure I have fully corrected myself, I'd said this it was Switzerland, but that's not the case. So our leading 5 at the moment, it's France, Germany, Italy, Great Britain, and Hungary. So clearly based on that selection and that commitment, if that is indeed Devey, and yet that seems to be the case. That shows real intent from the Hungarians, and also commitment from their athletes. Jeanette Couto-Bragmeier, I'm pretty sure I did see her on the introductions. She's one of the athletes that did race in the individual race at the Olympic Games. Had a fantastic swim and bike section, was right up at the front in that lead group all the way through. Finished up in 26th position overall. I know she has had a little bit of an Achilles injury, which has been restricting her running. But Jeanette is one of those athletes that just races and races and races. She loves to race. She races all formats. We've seen her in duathlon world championships. We've seen her in aquathlon world championships. In fact, I think she won the aquathlon world championships and a silver in the duathlon in Ibiza a couple of years ago. In fact, it may have been last year. So she's never afraid of racing. So this leading 5 at the moment doing a great job. They're in the final stages of their bike leg. So once again, we're going to be, as always, just looking at the detail, just making sure that nothing goes wrong, that the dismounts are, you want to be fast, but you also want to be smooth and efficient to avoid mistakes, avoid shoes flying off, avoid crashing into anybody else, anybody blocking your path, etc. So there's always a little bit of work to try and get yourself in prime position entering transition. But this is Marcus Day. So again, apologies for the name change. The Brits have changed their order. They went with Riley first and Day second. So apologies to the Marcus Day fans listening in. I blame the World Triathlon start lists for that one. But both talented athletes, both top 10 finishers in the individual races. And both been performing superbly over the last couple of seasons. They're young athletes making their way through the British system. Marcus Day leading the way out of transition on the run, and it was just Eric Diener from Germany was just the athlete, was just losing a couple of seconds off of the back there. So here's Team Switzerland. So actually they have been saying all along Fleury. So again, another late substitution. So it's not Fleury in their team. I'm going to claim that that adds to the reasons for my earlier mistake there in terms of identification. But let's move on and put that behind us. Here come the chasers. See on the back of that group, the Ukraine. We've also got Ireland in there, the Netherlands, Belgium and Spain. But up at the front, while correcting that it was Hungary in that top 5, are still going to stick at the moment with, I think that the 3 medalists are going to come from those first 5 nations that started this third run. So France, Germany, Italy, Hungary and Great Britain at the moment, I think, are the nations who are going to be determining the medals. Now just coming in there just a little bit further down than I think perhaps he would have been expecting. But we're going to be seeing a lot more of him in the future. Jean-Nuno Batista. And I said that we're going to have those 5 is where the medals are going to come from. At the end of that first lap, we just got a quick glimpse of them. All 5 athletes absolutely together at the midway point of this 1.9 kilometer run. It's Azano leading the way. Rethero, Devey, Diener and Day. So will the individual European Super Sprint champion Nicola Azano be able to use that form, that speed from yesterday to bring the Azzurri into the lead at the final handover? Or will it be the fresher legs of the super swimmer, who's a pretty good runner as well, Mr. Mark Devey? Just missed out on qualification for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. It had looked set that Hungary would be able to qualify 3 athletes for the Games right up until, I think it was almost, if not the very, very final weekend. And a nation can get 3 males or 3 females into the Olympics if they have 3 athletes qualified in the top 30 in the world rankings. And Mark Devey's ranking had just slipped, I think, out to 31. And it was Spain that were the nation that were able to have 3 male athletes represented in France. But Devey looking to put that disappointment behind him. And back here in the colours of his nation, doing them proud. But we should have some talent coming up on the final leg. Now, of course, slight disclaimer, we've had a few changes as we've seen going through the race in different orders, but at least as scheduled, with expecting to see Germany with Marlene Gomez-Gurgel. Great Britain, we did see a change on leg 2, so we're either going to be seeing Beth Cook or Sophia Green, I think. I'll hold fire on who that will be. Carlotta Mizaglia should be the scheduled Italian. I think we're definitely going to be seeing Zanette Couture-Bragmeier for Hungary. Sandra Dode switched to leg 2. So will it be Ilona Hadoum on leg 4 for France? We'll find out in a few seconds. But here we go. It's just broken up just a little bit there on that final sprint. And it's Germany and Great Britain are the two teams, I think, that have just dropped off a little. It looks like it is going to be Azzano from Italy, Dina from Germany, and Retherow from France. That trio have just got a little gap. And Marcus Day, Great Britain, and Mark Devey from Hungary, handing over in 4th and 5th, around 4 to 5 seconds back. So time after time, ladies and gentlemen, these mixed team relays, they just deliver entertainment all the way through. You're just never quite sure which way it is going to go. And right now, I would absolutely not be putting any of my money on any of these 5 nations. I have no idea which way this is going to go. And I did say right at the beginning, yesterday I said, this morning I said Team France in the juniors, absolutely the outright favourites. Before we began today, I said, I think this race is absolutely open. And there were 5, 6, maybe even more teams that would be confident and believe that they could podium, if not win. And right now, I think that assessment has proved to be correct. So just looking down at that potential scenario, now we know that we had Devey had just lost 4 or 5 seconds just on that final 200-meter sprint run-in down to the handover point. But Hungary are due to have Zanette Couture-Bragmeier on that final leg. Zanette is absolutely one of the best and most consistent swimmers in short course world and European triathlon racing. So she will absolutely believe that she has the swim capacity to swim back up to the leading trio of Italy, Germany, and France. And the good news is we will be able to see exactly how that has panned out in the next few seconds. But at least visually, here we go. We got a great overhead shot there. That tells us that we had a split. We had a trio, and then Day and Devey, Great Britain, and Hungary just lost just a couple of seconds in that final run-in. But that shows us quite evidently, quite clearly, that we are going to have 5 nations going for gold, silver, and bronze. Here, this is the final event, the final day, the European Triathlon Championships for 2024, the mixed team relay senior ranks. We're going to have Italy, Germany, France, Hungary, and Great Britain exiting the swim in the next few moments, just seconds apart. Looks like the white strip of Germany leading the way. So we think that that's going to be Gomez-Gurgel. We've got the blue of Italy, I think, coming through in second. So we're looking there for Carlotta Misaglia. It's the scheduled athlete on leg 2, unless they have switched round. We will see that in the next few moments. So as the hosts, they hand over back down at the swim start to begin their final leg, but the action is right at the front of the race. We're really going to be keeping our eyes on the very beginning of that bike leg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, our 4 nations together. That 5th team out. Just going to be wanting to have a good transition. They've just lost a few seconds. Will that be crucial? We did see this a little earlier on where we had a group of 7 and 2 just lost a couple of seconds and couldn't get back. But this is it. We just have 2 disciplines left. This is the 4th and final athletes. We just have 5.2 kilometers of cycling and then the final 1.7 kilometer run. This is to determine the direction of the medals and likely the top 5 positions of this final event of the Balıkesir Europe Triathlon Sprint and Relay Championships for 2024. Who will be the leading nation, the European Mixed Team Relay Champions? And I think this very loose group, I think, is all going to come together very, very soon. It's Italy and France. Together, but there we go. That did look like that was all going to come together. So we did see earlier on Julia Brocca was doing a lot of work on the front of the pace setting. Will that similar approach here from the German athlete prove fruitful? It looks behind as though, yeah, a few of those athletes are going, no, we're more than happy here. Perhaps taking a little guidance if you watch the Olympic women's marathon this morning, Sifan Hassan. She knew her strengths and she was not going to be at the front of the race until the very, very, very late stages, until she absolutely needed to be. That saying, train your weaknesses, race to your strengths, has never been truer. So once again, just to remind you, we are on leg 4, the final athletes for our mixed team relay European champions for 2024 in this leading group. It's Italy, France, Germany, Hungary, and Great Britain. So we can confirm we've got Beth Cook in there. So there was indeed a little bit of a change in the personnel for the Great Britain team from the originally listed quartet. Germany continuing to do this work on the front. Is this the correct tactics? We will find out over the next 5 or 6 minutes. Coming down to that U-turn, so we're really now on the run in back to transition. Who is going to take the title? Which way is this going to go? What a fantastic finale to 3 days of racing action here in Balıkesir in Turkey. 2 days of finals, Friday's semi-finals. And what a way to wrap up the action. It's the final day of the Olympics. It's the final day of this European Championship event. So on the front from Hungary, Zanet Kutor-Bragmeier. Definitely one of the most experienced athletes in this group. She has been consistently racing at World Triathlon Championship Series level for many years. Has World Cup victories, European Triathlon Cup victories, has been to Olympic Games, European Games and more. But the Team Germany just looking to make a very, very late move. Just causing a little bit of a split there. Really nothing, I don't think, that's going to be significant. But perhaps just a bit of positioning ahead of that 4th and final bike to run transition. And of course, this time at the end of that run, we will not be looking at a handover to the next swimmer. This is it. We are on discipline 11 here. We've gone swim, bike, run through 3 times for our first 3 athletes. Our 4th athletes have done swim. They're about to complete the bike. That will make it 11, and then it's all going to come down to this final run leg, 1.7 kilometers, 2 laps here at our venue at Balıkesir Avlu to determine the direction of the final medals of the 2024 European Triathlon Sprint and Relay Championships. Get ready, everybody. Which way is your money going? Who is your team? Who are your favorites? Who is going to take the title? We only have about 5 or 6 minutes to find out who the champions will be.
Hakemlerimiz, teknik görevlilerimiz, teknik delegelerimiz hem Avrupa Triatlon Birliği'nden hem Türkiye'nin kıymetli hakemleri.
So as they come into transition yet, so Elena Hadum.
3 gün boyunca sürekli canlı yayında meşakkatli çalıştılar gece gündüz demeden. Onların ellerine sağlık. Prodüksiyon ekibimize teşekkür ediyoruz. Ve en büyük alkışı, en büyük teşekkürü gönüllü ekibimize veriyoruz. Çünkü gerçekten...
So this is it, the final transition. They want to ensure it's fast but also efficient, clean, no mistakes, no errors, no penalties. And it looks like, was that Great Britain's Beth Cook just getting out first? So Beth Cook followed by Italy, and Jeanette Couture-Bregmeier just at the back there. So she just lost a couple of seconds. We know heading into that Olympic Games, and in a post-race comment she did say, after having a brilliant swim and bike, and she knew going into the games that she had a little bit of an injury, but she had an Achilles niggle, so that did see her slip down from that brilliant position down to 26th at the finish. Is she going to be able to perform today with just 1.7 kilometers of running ahead of her? Here come the chasers, but their chase today, in terms of medals at least, is definitely going to be in vain. Your podium is definitely going to be decided between Italy, France, Germany, Hungary and Great Britain. And hopefully we will get to see a little bit of how that is panning out with our next shots, where we should see our final leg runners coming on the path section next to the blue finish archway. There's the Ukraine and Italy athletes on leg form finishing their cycle. So here we go. Oh, we still have Italy, Germany and Great Britain together. So it looks like it is France and Hungary, from that shot at least, are the two nations that just seem to have just lost a few seconds there.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you see, the teams are already at the last round of the
So you can see, yeah.
Oh my God, so many supporters around.
Jeanette Couture-Bregmeier and Ilona Hadum. Hadum just moves past the Hungarian, but is she going to have what it takes to bridge back up to that leading trio? It is going to be very, very tough. Well into now, what, 600-700 meters to go from this point on. What a finish that we have in store. This is the final race of the day, the final championship podium. We've seen the semi-finals of the individual races on Friday, the A and the B finals for juniors and the elites and under 23s on Saturday. We saw Team France rule Europe as mixed team relay champions, the junior category, on Sunday morning. But on this Sunday afternoon into evening, who is going to take the title? We are just moments away from seeing them at the finish.
Everybody was welcome, and we hope to see you next year again. We will see actually what will happen next year.
I think it could be a sprint finish as well.
We will meet here again in Balıkesir.
So we've already seen Italy take the silver in the junior team relay.
They did a really great job.
Are they going to be able to add another relay medal?
To make a race, actually. That's why we would like
is the youngster from France, Ilona Hadoum. Initially dropped off that trio, looked like she was putting everything in to try and bridge back. We really need to see now. There's very final stages of the run. That's the key thing here. And here we go. Oh, we've got a absolute sprint finish here. Oh, it looks like Italy just took the gold from Germany, with Great Britain, Beth Cook just coming across the line in third place. It's France in fourth, Hungary in fifth position. Wow, wow, wow, what a finish. The Italians go one better than they did in the junior mixed relay, but what a finish. I don't think there's going to be even a second between them on the finish line. And mixed relay and sprint finishes, drama. What is it about this format? It is magnificent. I will say to anybody, I believe that triathlon mixed team relay is the best mixed gender event that we have across all sports. I just think it ticks every box for excitement, for integrity, for pure elite performance, for tactics. Everything is in this format of racing, and it just delivers time after time after time. And congratulations, Team Italy, via a sprint finish. Just stopping the mighty Germans from taking a clean sweep of global titles. Team Germany, of course, just won the Olympic Games. They were the world champions, and with a different squad, we're looking to add the European Championship here in Balıkesir to complete the set. But the Italians have just, in a brilliant race, with their team of Juan De Negro, Sharon Spimi, Nicola Azzano and Carlotta Mizaglia, just by the narrowest of margins, crossed the line to take gold here in Balıkesir in Turkey. That has proven to be a fine host once again. It's the second consecutive year of this Europe Triathlon Sprint and Relay Championships. And what a way to finish things. We've still got athletes coming up to the finish. But congratulations to all of our athletes that have competed so bravely and given everything across 3 days of action. There's definitely going to be some tired bodies. Many of these athletes, this will be their third day of racing through the semi-finals, the individual finals or B finals, and then on to the mixed team relay. Just highlighting once again the pure strength, talent and endurance that these triathletes have. That smiles on the faces of the German team there. Congratulations one more time to all of you, girls and boys. So Team Germany, Jan Diener, Julia Brocker, Eric Diener and Marlene Gomez-Gogol. Subject to official confirmation, of course, taking the silver medal. With Great Britain following up last year's gold with bronze this time around. Bethany Cook on the anchor leg for the Brits. And she was joined by Marcus Day, Hamish Riley, and I think it's Libby Coleman, if my memory serves me right. It is indeed. Libby Coleman was their second leg athlete today. So that, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much wraps up the racing here for another year in Balıkesir. Big thank you to all of you for watching. If you have done the full endurance tour and followed all of the action on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon, thank you. You deserve a medal, and thank you for your endurance skills and for following our fantastic sport. Big thank you, of course, to our team down on the ground in Balıkesir, our organisers, local authorities, councils, swim, safety, everybody else, sound, video, and all of the million things that goes on behind the scenes, medical, logistics, volunteers, technical officials, you name it. There are too many to mention, so if I've missed any of you, please accept my apologies. You are all greatly valued. But for now, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the action. It's been a pleasure to be part of it once again, and I'm sure we'll be back with you at another race very, very soon.
Bir şehir, iki deniz. Ağırladığı milyonlarca misafir. Besleyen yaylalar, sırt veren dağlar, yaşatan nehirler. Ovalarından bal, dağlarından yağ akan büyük şehir.
Hoş mu? Hazırsının kuzusu.
Vallahi nefis nefis. Balıkesir kahvaltısı yerim.
İlmek ilmek dokunan, ruhunuza dokunan, makamınca okunan, tarihte yer etmiş bir öyküdür bu şehir. Kurtdereli Mehmet Pehlivan'ın torunları onlar. Sırtı yere gelmez, nice evlatlar yetiştirir bu toprak. Makbule Efe, Nazife Kadın, 41 bayraklı Kuvayi Milliye'dir Balıkesir. Eşsiz mercanları, efsanedir adaları. Şu İda tepelerinde izledi Zeus Truva Savaşı'nı ve şu yamaçta seyretti Paris ilk güzellik yarışmasını. Sarı kızdır, bir özlemdir Kaz Dağları. Atlas'ın derinlikleri kıskanıyor olmalı İda Madra Jeopark'ın termal kaynaklarını.
Bizlere yaşattığınız gurur için bir kez daha teşekkürler çocuklar. Evet, parkurda sadece birkaç sporcu kaldı. Benden şimdilik bu kadar. Evet, son yarım saatimiz, hemen hemen yarım saatimiz ödül töreni için son hazırlıkları gerçekleştirmek üzere ödül töreni alanına gidiyoruz. Emeği geçen herkese şimdiden çok teşekkür ederiz.